So taking out from the Encyclopedia of Vaudeville, right? So basically, we have to also always address, like, if talking about the vaudeville life and the vaudeville way of managing businesses, we have to talk always about how it worked for the Black people and how it worked for the white people, right? The white vaudeville with the white theaters, the white audiences, and the Black vaudeville with the Black theaters, you could say, and Black spaces in which they perform. So let me see. Yeah, so like a lot of them like were all in very like small theaters and like very cheap boarding houses. uh and there's one thing that really was really powerful to read on the Josephine Baker's book. Is there is this dancer, her name was Mama Lewis, Mammy Lewis, and she was at the same vaudeville as Josephine Baker was, and they traveled together and they were billed together. And then even one time, she actually won like a competition prize in the rehearsals over Josephine Baker, right? So she was possibly as talented at that time, right? Because Josephine Baker was learning her craft during the vaudeville circuit. Like she learned a lot there. And so basically this dancer, she was traveling with her and on the same circuit. And in the book, the her son, Josephine's son, went to visit Mamis in her apartment in Harlem. And he said that she had there was no door in her frame, like so like her house had like no door open, and then all the paint from the walls were like all scattered and falling down, and she was just holding her pictures of the vaudeville and the memories that she had from that time, and that was like the only thing that she had left. And the one thing about this, like the vaudeville show that I read in this book, that says like the performers had no security beyond their current contracts, and they dwelled in an isolation that ill prepared them for life after the death of Lady Vaudeville. So they had to live in these things, and then when everything was off, they didn't have a way to insert themselves in society in the same way, because they didn't live to grow up to understand how things work, or they were still in segregated America and all that. Um, so so most entertainers were struggling to rise above impoverished, restricted backgrounds. So they began their careers in like dirty fire trap passings as theaters, where audience were rough and rude, and the managers as well. Um, so both Black entertainers prefer to play for their own people in the Black circuit, and sometimes they developed like the acts that was like very culturally specific, that the transition to the white audience will not make it, right? So then they will work for the Theater Owners Booking Association, um, because that's what they manage most of the Black gigs and stuff. But the one thing that was very interesting to note is that the rise of the vaudeville during the first 3 decades of the 20th centuries coincided with the revival of the Ku Klux Klan, which grew, of course, particularly strong in the South. Um, and let me see what else. Um, so try to see. Oh yeah. So the one thing, I don't know if you guys heard about this already, right? But the TOBA, they also were called that it meant tough on Black asses instead of Theater On Association, because they would just work the performers like tirelessly, and like they do a lot of shows. And there's this one comparison between the white, Black, and Black vaudeville. So on the white Black vaudeville, almost all the shows, they were individual units, and they were booked individually, and they had their own traveling management, and they would get together with other acts at the spot, right? And they would just like run the order and stuff. But they were booked, paid, accommodated, and everything individually. And their own show was only like, let's say 8, 10, or 17 minutes of that whole ensemble that they participated. And then there, of course, even in the white vaudeville, very rarely there was also the tab shows, right? Which was a lot of like a big review that traveled together, right? And then the whole show was like 40, 50 minutes and stuff. But that second one was more predominant in the Black vaudeville. So usually the Black vaudeville, it was a group that traveled all together. And doing that, they had way more time in the air because a lot of them would participate in multiple shows, right? Instead of the other one, the white ones that just played their ones and they were done, right? But like usually, so the package for the Black vaudeville, you know, they have up to 75 people, right? And they would and like the shows were like from 30 minutes to 2.5 hour long shows. So it was a completely different um, system, right, in which they had to live. And one thing that was very interesting is that they sometimes, except the headliners, the people that were like just the second line, they were just the supporting shows, they sometimes didn't get even the transportation covered. So they knew that they would have a show here and then they would have to be here by the end of 2 weeks. So accommodation, food, and transportation was not covered for them. So during show, it was very common that they would just try to find whatever way they could to survive, right? Like playing in carnival shows and carnival tents here and there to last until they got to the show and got paid whatever they got paid. Uh, and of course, for the white circuit, everything was covered, right? And they could stay in any hotel because every hotel took them. So that was a big thing about also the Black Vaudeville that we already know at this point, right? That they wouldn't be able to stay in hotels; they'll have to find these boarding houses, as they call, and a lot of them had a lot of like bed bugs and a lot of other stuff that they had to. Later on, uh, in Josephine Baker's book, it says that there was this what's her name? Clara Smith, one of the big blues singers. She would travel in the shuffle along um, uh, circuit, and she would travel with her own bedding, like her clean sheets, because you know she knew that if she arrived at the places where they got to stay, they would have like all these dirty beds and bed bugs and stuff. So and then everyone started to bring their own sheets because they learned that like no, that's what you needed to do to have some sort of comfort, you know, which is crazy. And this is also something that, so this is Booth Marshall. She was one of the chorus dancers that traveled with Josephine Baker. She said this in the small theaters, but she said, you know, in them days, the colored people just talk back to the shows. Like a villain shoots someone and hides behind the door, and the audience yell, "That's the dirty rascal behind the door! Go get him!" So there was a lot of things on that happened during the vaudeville that people sometimes would get up with knives and jump at the stage to like separate the fights off the stage or something like that, and people had to stop the show and kind of tell people to calm down, and they will like throw stuff at at the performers. So it was really tough audience to work with, but at least they knew they wouldn't be lynched, right? So I guess you gotta pick your fights at some point. Um, so some theaters were very small, and you could, and this is also the another dancer saying that like some theaters were so small you could not cross behind the stage to go to the toilet. So you had to learn how to pee in a bottle. So life in the TOBA was just going from one dinky theater to another, some of them blacksmith shops where they shoed horses. You worked hard, did your show a day, and you learned a lot. So this is constantly being said every time I read about the vaudevilles, that like it was just a place where the big performers they trained how to produce shows, they trained how to work on it, and this is something that Hortense is going to talk when I get the interview. So then you had like the end of the vaudeville circuit. It was by the early 30s, and was all of the USA was in the throes of the Great Depression, right? So in the great this is something that was very interesting for me because like uh, radio was free, so black and white listened to what they could afford, right? Like the one that could afford a, like a receiver, right? They would just that would be the entertainment instead of paying for watching a vaudeville show. And this is something that I found very interesting as well. That gradually I never know if I can even say like Negroes, but like all those texts says Negroes, and I feel that I don't know exactly if that's a term that is acceptable or not. Is it? I don't know.
I'll Google is Negro PC.
Huh.
I
I
don't
think
even.
it really depends on, in a way, like fashion. I feel like vocabulary changes through time.
Hmm.
You know, what
Yeah,
might have been acceptable then is not acceptable now, and vice versa.
yeah,
Like what some people consider swearing now, it's like, well, that's not a swear word, but now you've put a bad connotation to it, so now it's
yeah,
become a swear word kind of thing.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
And so a lot of
Uh,
those texts like list Negroes all the time. So I'm like, I don't know if I, yeah,
it said actually before 1966 it was totally okay. Well, okay to say Negro, but after it started to decline in about 1966 and was totally uncouth by the mid 1980s.
oh, good to know. All right,
Yeah,
so no Negroes.
And
yeah.
if you talk to, do you know Damon Stone,
No.
blues guy, U.S.? Oh, he's huge in the history of blues and teaches a lot of blues dancing throughout the world.
Mm.
But he's black, right? And often I would say African American, and at some point he told me, "You're probably thinking you're polite, but a lot of us don't associate to Africa anymore, and we just want to be called blacks. I'm
Yeah,
black, and that's what I am." And that's kind of interesting because my
yeah.
background, I'm part um, First Nation in Canada, and
Uh-huh.
if we were called Reds, we would blow up at anybody that would call us red,
Wow,
right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
But then a black person in the US now says, I don't feel a connection to Africa. I just happen to be black. So I don't want to be an African American. I just want to be black.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
kind of weird, right? Because I always
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
it was the thing to say. And now I know nowadays it's not.
Well,
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, yeah. Yes, yes.
sorry, sorry.
No, no, go for it. Go for it.
No, I think it comes back to personal empowerment because it says here that black people use Negro to call as a word that they called themselves, but the minute that white people started to use it in a
Mm,
derogatory way, the meaning changed. So then people later called themselves African American because they identified with their roots, which were much closer to now. But now people are not that connected with Africa, but they're still kind of connected to their ancestors, but they prefer to be called Black American as
yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
white. So I think
Yeah,
it's all about empowerment and what you call yourself,
yeah,
what you want
because
to be called.
because I heard as well that like there's a lot of Americans, Black Americans that say that like they're not African Americans, they're actually from the Caribbean.
Mm.
So like the answer, but like the Caribbeans black are still from Africa. But it's still, but in their relationship, it's the Caribbean, So it's very, so I guess in the end, it just comes to show that there's like, of course, just like any other uh, ethnicity, there's a plurality of opinions, right? Some people associate with one thing, some people associate with another thing, and even yeah, because I remember like Brie, I was talking to her about like either capitalizing black or not, and because I capitalized black because I read this article in the New Yorker, and I thought it was very compelling on the reason, and she was like, I don't give a shit, like she doesn't care, but it's like, so it's kind of like, yeah, depends on who you're talking to, right? So I guess it has always to check the waters and before you make a decision.
It's
um
it's it's a respect thing, I think, as
yeah,
well. Like, I mean, even in the beginning, you wanted to call me Kristen, right? Like when
yeah,
when we first met, and a lot of people do that, but I really appreciate it when people say, Chris, sorry, how do you say your name?
Chris,
Because it is an unusual name to certain countries, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's the same thing, I guess, just asking somebody, because we can't actually please everyone, because one person will be happy with something and another person
Yeah.
won't care, and another
Yeah,
person will be extremely offended.
yeah,
So
totally, totally.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, so then just the death of the vaudeville came with the Great Depression and the radio, so everyone started to wanting not pay for entertainment because they couldn't pay. And this is something that I read in the thing that says gradually Black people accepted white radio favorites as their own because that's what was being broadcasted to them, right? So that's really interesting. Um, all right, so let's go to now Hortense Allen Jordan. This is her when she was dancing for Louis Jordan, which she married, and this is her at the documentary. Uh, I don't know what was her age at the time. The documentary was in 1996. Oh shit, I don't have the year that she was born. Interesting. Anyways, this is her. So she was born in St. Louis, like so many others. Uh, and so she was choreographing and producing shows at the Plantation, which was like the big club in St. Louis, which is actually called also the Paramount, I think. Um, and she wanted to be a doctor, but of course she saw no prospect of pursuing such a career as an African American woman. Uh, and she started in the show business with Leonard Reed was her mentor and who took her to Chicago. And this is the one thing that I think is really interesting about her. Like she produced her own chorus line, and she opened space for a lot of Black performers. And because at the time, as they wanted to take, they were very they want to take only light skinned Black dancers, right? And so she opened this chorus line, which she would just take dancers that were Black dancers that were good, despite their being too dark or too light, right? So and then she empowered a lot of new performers to have a possibility, and a lot of the times she had to sew the costumes herself because a lot of the sewing companies for costumes wouldn't do it for Black people, right? So she worked tirelessly. Like she choreographed, she danced, she produced, she did the costume. Um, she passed 2088, so that means that she was born in 1920. All right, good. Um, oh, another dancer that was born in 88, just like Bessie Dudley. Huh. Um, let me see. Oh yeah, and she was the first person to put an African American chorus line on Broadway. So Louis Jordan gave her that gig, and this is her in that show here. When she talks about it, she mentioned that it was um, at the Paramount Theater in Broadway, which is a theater where they had a Ziegfeld Folly, which is kind of strange because Ziegfeld Folly is usually a white vaudeville show. So I don't know if it's separate because she said like I did a show at the Zig, and I don't know if it's the Ziegfeld Folly because that would be very strange because it was a white show. So I don't know. So this is something that she said like I just let them call me as a chorus girl and choreographer because it was hard, really hard for a woman in my time to be a woman producer to come up because they wouldn't take you. Uh, And in the 60s and 70s, she was still active and producing, at the Philadelphia Robin Hood Dell. And she trained a lot of top-notch entertainment at the crowd. And like I said, she worked for James Brown. And this is her actually talking about her early career. And that for me was really, really interesting. Hold on, let me open this up.
Way I could make that's the way show business was. So the only way I could make a name, be a super worker, choreographer, dancer. And then they say I never was a shake dancer when all that's just shake dancer.
Fuck.
I just only did the act for Larry to fill space for him. And of course, since I know how to dance, I know how to do all kind of dances. I'm an acrobatic dancer, tap dancer, toe dancer.
Something's happening in my fucking volume. Let me.
We hear it, okay?
Oh
I
yeah.
hear it.
Any kind of dancing you can do, I know how to do it.
Well, see, I had saw Hortense dance at the Earl Theater. Oh man, that was like. See, Hortense was one of the leading course girls in show business, not just the Earl. And coming to the Earl with Louis Jordan, everybody went to see Hortense because she looked like a giant at that time. Because there was no girls that big, you know, that tall and vivacious. Is that how you pronounce that word? That looked like Hortense Allen, you know. When she opened up on this great big drum. And all the rest of the people were around her. You know, she was right on that drum, legs and all, because that's all you saw, you know. And it was really an opening night.
All right, now this is the best part of the documentary. What she says now.
See, that's what I meant. We have always danced off of jazz. See, that's a jazz beat. What he's blowing now, the horn. See, that they're not blowing the whole melody. They're riffing and making their own sounds. As I said, we've been dancing off of jazz all our lives, you know. That's the first time in my life that I've ever saw my own self dance, you know.
I can't believe that never in
N-
all those years.
all the years. This is the first time in my life.
So I love that she says, the like, that's the jazz beat. Like, they're not, he's not playing the whole melody. He's riffing and making it his own, right? Because when I watched the clip, uh, that's the only clip of her that I found. So I haven't found any of her dancing. The whole clip, she's just building up those beautiful riffs, and she repeats it over and over again, and it goes so amazingly with the music. I don't know if you remember now, Catherine, that we worked on that clip like a very long time ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing her.
Yeah.
I remember those legs.
Let me see if I can. Yeah. So this. Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, sorry. So this is a clip we're going to be dancing to today. But I also wanted to show just a little other part of that some interview that she talks about uh, working in white clubs as a kid, and I think it's really powerful. Just to go to go pair and pair to what we just talked about, the vaudeville circuit and stuff.
And I learned before I came out east. I learned the time of shows, how to put shows together, and and by learning from them, the older ones that was out there, I was interested in learning, and I was interested in learn all kind of dances, all kind of neat, all kind. Well, we had to learn that, because like in my home, they would teach you if you work into a club. We could work real young. People would say, "No, it's a law." We worked in white clubs, and we went in the back door, go up there, do our little show. In between shows, get our homework, come right back out back there. We never was around whiskey. We never didn't know anything about people have to sit on a bar or something like that. We never mingled with nobody. And that's why we could be so young to dance. I know, like, into show business, and like people say, yes, I used to go on the floor 35 times a night. We would do 7 shows, and I was in 5 numbers. I had to lead the four lead the line, and then do my act. I didn't know I was going on that many times until the band leader, Corey, said, he was in a Howard Theater. Corey said, Hudson, you know how much time you go on the floor? I said, no. He said, you go on the floor 35 times a night. But I had to laugh, you know. I said, nobody go on that hard. But that's what I was doing. Jordan.
Such a badass. Anyways, uh, yeah, I mean, the one thing that really surprised me is the fact that, like, two things. One, it's that that documentary was done in '96, so it was out in '96, right? Right at the big moment of the revival. And she only passed away in 2008. But how come we never brought her to the scene? This blows my mind, like the idea that all that knowledge and that experience that she had, like, was never brought in, and I think I mean people didn't look the right places. Like, I don't know, they were just so obsessed, I guess, with like having Frankie being the representative of the culture, and didn't look further, right? Didn't look further to someone that was there the whole time, and like with so much knowledge and so much stuff. In the end, I just gotta keeps confirming that it was never about the culture. It was always about um, feeling good about this, with this one representative of the culture, that it was happy and that made everyone feel good, instead of like actually going through the people that were there to show a bit more of what the culture was about, right? I don't know. I mean, this is, of course, I always go to criticize first. I have to think again and see, like, give the benefit of the doubt. No, they didn't know, and they were doing their own thing, which is fine. But it just surprised me, right? To have that thing, have that source, available. But anyways, yes.
I want to
I,
ask, in the revival, uh, I know Lindy Hop was very popular, but I don't know much about like solo or chorus line. Was it
Mhm.
also popular in the revival? Because that also might have impacted who they looked for.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
mean,
I
yeah, I've seen quite a few clips from her early Harangue, like in the '90s and stuff, that they had like solo classes with Chester, solo classes with people in general. So I mean, it was probably. I mean, I think the solo jazz movement is quite new, to be honest. But I think everyone knew, everyone knew the train do, everyone knew the all the solo routines as well. So I think they knew it was part of the culture, right? But I guess, yeah, Lindy Hop was the biggest thing for sure.
I know that when you talk with Leonard, he often mentions that who was the first guy they found? Sorry, my memory sucks for names.
All means.
Yeah, so Al went to the first few harangues and ends up he really didn't enjoy teaching. And so when you talk with Leonard, he's like, once we found Frankie, and I don't know if you've ever had Frankie as a teacher, but man, he fed off of the energy of people, especially young people.
Mm,
And I started dancing in 1998. And so we would often like travel for the weekend. It was 5 hours to drive to Boston. It was 9 hours to fly to go to New York. It was 5 hours to go to Toronto. So wherever Frankie went, or back then, a few other people, we would always go.
hmm.
And he definitely loved being around people. And I wonder if that's why he became like the spokesperson, because at the same time he was an entertainer, he loved being there. And once you have that and other people are kind of reticent, like, oh, I'm old, I don't want to travel halfway
Mm.
through the world, whatever, you're like, okay, whatever, this guy's always willing to come. When I first moved to Singapore, Frankie would come to Singapore for the weekend, and you're like, "Are you serious? This guy is old. Like, he's
Yeah,
going all the way to Singapore for a weekend."
yeah.
So he definitely thrived on it, and I wonder if other people, maybe that had families and were comfortable at home. Some people don't love traveling, and
That's
I
true
wonder
as
if that's
well.
a factor of
Yeah,
old people being like, "Well, you could come to me, but I'm not going to you."
yeah, yeah,
I'm
actually a
just
really good
speculating here, right? I don't have any evidence,
yeah,
but
yeah. Of
I'm
no,
just
course, yeah.
no, I actually agree with that because I've taken classes with some brilliant dancers, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm a teacher myself, so I recognize very clearly who I think is good at explaining or good at helping students to find their way. I can
Mm,
recognize who has it or who doesn't, and I'm just
mm.
like, some people are brilliant dancers, but I'm like, you should not be teaching. Like just
Mm,
because you're a good dancer doesn't mean you're a good teacher.
definitely, yeah.
So maybe, and it is, it's that energy, and students have to feel it as well. They have to feel like they're something special, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like what I take of it, yeah, first of all, of course, like Frankie was, if we're talking about Lindy Hop, historically that he's the biggest name. There's no question about it, right? Like what he did for Lindy Hop, what he did for the dance, and like, I mean, he's just the name. So the fact that he was there and willing, of course, I understand like being tunnel vision, but but then it's just this thing, of like, but there's a whole culture behind that dance, and I feel that's when it gets me a bit annoyed, is the fact that, yeah, if you tunnel vision in Indie Hop and in Frankie, right? So it's so flat. Like it's just like you're just taking this hobby that you like, and you're not interested in anything else. So you're kind of like justifying people. I just want to have fun and dance and just do this thing with my spare time, which is fine, right? But like as all the professionals, like just reaching for the full understanding of the culture and bringing people to understand it from a deeper perspective, other than just Savoy was a happy dance and Frankie loves everyone. Like, like there's so much more than that. That I think that I understand completely. Like Frankie, he was more in his right to make a second career out of a dance that he fucking basically created himself. So I mean, I don't blame, and I'm happy that he was able to do it. I'm just frustrated that, yeah,
Mm.
all those voices were not there.
I,
You know, I
I also I agree with that. There's also, it's such a shame that like even grandchildren of those dancers didn't even know that they were great dancers. Do you know what
Yeah,
I
that's
mean?
true. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really sad. And that even those great dancers never saw themselves dancing.
I know,
That's
man.
crazy. We've all seen them, but
Yeah,
they'd never seen themselves.
yeah,
That's really crazy for me.
yeah, yeah. It's
Mm.
insane.
And then we all trying to copy or be like them, but they have no idea either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. All right. So let me.
sorry, can
Yes.
I just say that I watched, there's a really good mini documentary on almonds. It's actually in Spanish with English subtitles.
Oh
It's on YouTube. Have you seen it?
no, I think I have it on the list, but I have not yet. I have not spent time.
It's really good. I watched it like a couple of months ago, and he explains the whole almond, because it's about almonds, and he explains a lot about what happened. And he said, well, of course, almonds passed away, but
Mm.
once everybody started learning from Frankie, everybody took this like uh, down, like the
Oh
bow
yeah.
to your follower kind of style, but actually it still removed the essence of the Lindy Hop, which is your showing your uniqueness. So that was Frankie's style at the Savoy. That was his style. But now everybody's trying to do that, or was trying
Exactly.
to do that. And then,
Exactly.
but he said, would it have been any different if, because Almonds has quite an upright, very small, like he's very close to his follower. If you look in in like videos, and he's very does a lot of footwork and stuff, because he was good at like solo stuff as well. So he does a
Mm.
lot of that. So the guy who's like narrating this documentary says, well, would it have been any different if we had just all copied Almonds? Like the style would be totally different nowadays. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
but
yeah,
don't understand the culture. It goes back to that. The people don't understand the culture, so
exactly. That's
everybody
it.
learns from one person and thinks that that is the culture.
Yeah, because it's easy, it's easy to get one opinion and one way to funnel, like your interests, because this is something that I've been like battling with mostly. It's just like, fuck, this is like, I'm trying to understand and absorb like someone else's culture. You know what I mean? Like I will never understand. I can only study it. So I feel that it's so easy that if you have someone that gives you all the answers for you to feel that you know something, you're gonna go for it. It's like the lazy way of like understanding something. Um, but I think that like one other thing that I want to get like that I for me was like a big moment in my understanding as well is the idea that when they say like the smooth dancing is like from the West Coast, and then you watch a lot of like the old clips and you see like those dances from the Savoy like floating on the floor, like not bouncing like Frankie, you know, like, and not, so Frankie had his style, right? But then like there was the smooth ass dancers that was like so solid, you know, and people always associate that with like Dean Collins or like, you know, the white people in the West and stuff. So it's very, yeah, it's very narrow-minded, right? And it's always going to be like a translation of a culture through one person's eye. Of course, it's going to be shallow, you know, obviously.
Well, I
Um,
mean, everybody in Korea wants to dance like you, so
oh my God,
obsession in Korea. I promise you, every dance, every lead, like Korean lead that I know wants to dance like Felipe.
that's pathetic. God.
I
Um,
lived in Korea only 1 year, and I remember like you would look at the follows and you knew who would inspire her. Hong Kong,
definitely.
they all danced with like Pamela. Hong Kong and Singapore, they were all Pamela for a while.
Taiwan,
Uh,
kind of Joe Hofberg. Taiwan,
yeah, and then
Korea as well. A bit. Joe was a
but
big trend.
in Seoul, you could be like, oh, this person loves this dancer. Oh, this person, they're trying to
Yeah.
emulate this person. And then I had people tell me like, so who are you dancing like? And I'm like
Me?
me. Yeah,
Uh,
'cause I dance and like my thing is when I listen to the music, I don't necessarily feel very bouncy.
mm,
And everybody was always like, "Oh, it's the joy, it's the this, it's the that." It's like, well, they survived so much that when they were dancing, they were kind of escaping their everyday life, and I'm
yeah.
not. My I come from a rich, suburban
Yeah.
family, and that's
That
not
makes
what
sense.
I feel when I hear this music. Therefore, it's going to represent what I feel in this moment, not what somebody else felt or pretend that they felt because I
Fuck,
don't
that's
know.
great. Fuck, that's great. Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, because I really recommend if you can watch. So there's something that touches that a bit. I watched this documentary this past week called Buck Jumping. I don't know if you it's on Amazon, it's in the American Amazon and it's like open for free, I think. But if you can, find it in torrent and stuff, it's on New Orleans culture like now today. And there's this moment when this woman is talking about bounce, like bounce is apparently a style of music in New Orleans, and like it's like the music where like twerking comes from apparently and stuff like this. Like I don't completely understand, but like first of all, every person they interview in that documentary, they speak like their spoken word. It's so artistic and beautiful. They speak in such a kind of like art, like poetic way, and they're just talking about how they feel, and it's incredible. And then this woman was talking about how you come to dance, and if you're sad, or if you hurt, you come to the dance and you release. And if you're happy and if you're excited, you come to dance and you release as well. So it's kind of like the same place that you can kind of come to release both type of feelings. And then this woman said, like, and then like when the bounce beats start playing, your body just relax. And she was just like doing this as she was like talking about, and I was like, oh, I just feel that I want to watch the documentary every time I go before I go dancing, just to have this mindset of like release and like relax, and this idea, right? Like you gotta express what you have inside. You cannot pretend you have uh like some sorrow or history of oppression, because you don't, so like how do you contribute with your own background, right, and respecting your own background. That's really nice. I really appreciate you sharing that. It's really, really great.
I
I
agree.
even think with your body, right? Like I'm heavier now and I'm unwell. And so the
Mm,
way I move definitely changes through my body as well, not just what's in my head?
yeah, yeah, that's amazing.
And something that Ramona said to me. By the way, she told me I should tell you hello. I do one-to-one classes with her
Mm,
sometimes, and she said to me, sometimes it's okay to just not feel in the moment, and it's okay to just not want to dance
that's
as well,
awesome.
because
Yeah,
so many people feel like they just have to force themselves no matter what, but sometimes you just
that's so
just
true, man. That's so true. And I think that this is something that like was the hardest thing, not even being a international dance like teacher or something, but just being a dancer in the community. I remember forcing myself so much to like enjoy Lindy Hop, and sometimes I was just like, yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling the band or I'm not feeling this DJ, and I don't want to enjoy, and I'm not enjoying myself. And then you just want to go and hang out with your friends and not feel pressure that you have to feel something, right? And I think that that's like the best advice that I think uh,
Right.
from Ramona. Yeah, for sure. So great. Um, all right, let me just share with you the video here of we can watch the whole uh, Hortense video. It's annoying because the video glitches and it's not until the end. Um, yes, I agree. Yeah,
I
totally. Yeah, this is really really important. Um, all right, so any of you know how to take out the bar down here? Like it just doesn't go away. Don't know how to take it out.
I think the gray square is your chat box sometimes that we see. Now it's gone.
Oh, there you go. It went away. It went away. There you go. Okay. All right. So this is the Hortense clip. It's pretty fast, but check out like how she talked about before, right? About like the jazz beats that the guy was not playing the he was not playing the melody. He was riffing out his own music, right? And her dancing is 100% riff. It's beautiful. Check this out. Oh. Art Blakey here. Yeah, then it cuts, so you don't see the ending. But you can see like there's so many like repetitions and I see kicks in your future. Probably, probably. The one thing also about that big band, it had a lot of early bebop musicians starting there. So Art Blakey started there, John Coltrane started there, and Miles Davis started there. So like three big names of the bebop era. Kirsten, I saw something on your face. You want to say something?
Yeah, no, I just at the top of the video, it says the 1946 Billy
Extinct,
Eckstein
yeah.
Taps Miller. Is that the name of the video? Like if I were to look for it on YouTube, that's how I
Yes.
took it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was the name, but I could see it was on YouTube, so I was like, I
Yeah,
better
no, I
look for it.
downloaded it. I downloaded it because it's easier to study.
And
uh,
then I have a question. It might seem like a stupid question, but
yeah.
what is the difference between a riff and a phrase?
phrase is the
So I know in my understand, I don't know what, I don't exactly, people talk about riffs in the music,
mm,
but is it just the melody on top of the phrase? Is it a phrase? So I know like phrase and chorus,
yeah,
and one chorus is A, for example,
yeah,
in a standard jazz
swing, yeah,
swing. So riff can be part of a
yeah.
phrase.
So riff uh, is a repeatable rhythmic structure. So, for example, the Count Basie, it's all riff. Everything that he does is all riff, right? So if you think on like poopy papa poopa tata poopy, so that one part of it's a riff, and then it repeats a lot of times.
Um,
Poopy, poo-doo-dee-da, ba, 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 poo-doo-dee-da, ba. So those are all little repeatable pieces. That's a riff, right?
okay.
Instead of having a melody that it's like that is a melody that is not a riff, and then you can think on
What
someone
is a
like you.
melody?
Oh, a melody would be something that goes like exactly like you, right? Ah, da, 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 right? Da, 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 da. That's a melody. That the length of that melody it's a phrase, right?
Mm,
But riff is all those little rhythmical repetitions that has,
okay. Okay. So
yeah.
sorry, I thought it might be a silly question, but I have to ask it
No,
because
no, no, no. Yeah, but then you can
okay.
see like in her dancing, you can see a lot of the riffs, right? That she just repeats like the same rhythmical pattern.
Yes. So
Yeah,
that's like that when I was practicing last week, I posted
hmm,
on the group on Facebook
yeah,
I kept trying to end each phrase on the with a break. And I tried to do on the third eight, I tried to do half break and then full break. Like
uh,
because I look a lot of the chorus dancers will repeat obviously on the riff. They repeat, half break, full break, kind of that
yeah,
pattern,
yeah,
while
yeah,
they're
yeah,
done. I noticed she was doing the same thing, but she did like repeat, break, repeat, break,
yeah,
repeat, break. That kind
yeah,
of
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, so I mean, like riff would be there, like one element on it, right? And then she composed into a phrase like three times, and then like a break, right? Fuck, I want to say something about it again. Yeah, but anyways, that's the main idea. Oh, heavy metal. Yeah, that's how I actually learned for the longest 3 years of my life. I was a big heavy metal. I was like a heavy metal drummer when I was like a teenager, and I had a lot of like bands and stuff. And I remember like learning riffs from that time too. So when people in jazz started saying riffs, like I don't know what riff is, I had no like it was easy to to translate. Um, and I want to show just so like in the same video, there is a chorus line at the end that, just like we know that she's a producer and she choreographed a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure she was involved in the choreographing of this chorus line, and it's just so great. It's very annoying again because it chops a lot the video and it goes to the musicians quite a bit, so we lose a lot of the little pieces. But the little things that we can see is just so great. So check this out. So uh, that was beautiful. Look at that one. So great. Oh. Sick. Oh my God. Where are you? Oh, here. Isn't that the most incredible like chorus line choreography? It just there's so many juicy moments in that one. Love
I
it.
think I don't know if you guys noticed, but the guy in the trumpet was that Louis Armstrong, the guy at the back. Can't see his face because he was trumpeting in the back like this, but his build looks like Louis Armstrong, like
Doubt
slightly
it.
chubby. Anyway, he was blowing so hard that his middle button popped in his suit. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see.
I didn't actually see it pop, but it was closed first, and then I noticed it open, and I didn't actually see it open. So he was like literally like blowing.
The only thing that I saw is that like the trombone guy in front of him, when he starts playing, the trombone goes like like shrinking.
Literally, like at first I noticed like I didn't notice anything, but then suddenly I noticed that his middle button had like popped open.
So good. All right. So yeah. So the drummer is Art Blakely, and he's like famous for his like super like excited faces and stuff. Yeah, I don't think Miles Davis or John Coltrane are in that video, but I know they were in that band for a bit. Um, all right. So I got a lot of songs from Blanche Calloway, by the way. So for us do a little dancey today. So let's that was a long intro of 1 hour. I guess we wanted to talk a bit as well. uh, but let's yeah, I just want a little like let's take it easy today because I guess we are more in a chill mood. So I don't know if you'll be able to see me. My room is really dark. Oh, no problem. No problem. I just yeah, get in your position. I'll put the Blanche Calloway today to play. Let's see which one. I like this one song a lot. Just learned about it. This one.
Is it I Gotta Swing?
Yes!
Yes.
Yes, so good. Oh my god, that song is
So
sick.
bouncy. It's so swingy. I just love it. It's my new
Yeah.
favorite song.
Agree. All right. Uh, oh my God, this shoes. I'm starting to get used to it finally, get more and more starting to. Okay, so let's start with the riffs that um, that Hortense has. They're really so, not this one. This one is not this one. Sick, man. I think it's here. Right here. This one. So. All right, that one I think I remember. So we're gonna just take those riffs idea. It's going to be ki ta ti ah ta ah 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 ta ti la ti ta 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 ah 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 ki pa chen ah e ti ti ah 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 ikada e tu ah 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 ah. So kick for change, kick twist down, twist 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 twist, kick for change, twist down, ah ah ah, rip da e tu ah ah ah, ikaga e tu ah 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 ah. Yeah, let me see once. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Keep watching, ah, 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 ah. Keep watching, ah, 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 ah. You eh. So keep watching, ah, ah. Yeah, and then slow. Ah, yeah. So the second one starts here. So this way, yeah. So a 1 2 ah 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 2 ah oh ah 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 ah. Yeah, so it goes for a 1 2 step down, right? And then from here is a bit tricky because from the left foot you have to go out on the boogie forward already. So it's ti ta ti step ooh ah tu ta tu together tu ti ta ta ooh ah tu ta tu ta ti ta down what tu ta tu ah hey ah ooh ah ooh ah do ah. Yeah, can I see that one time? 5, six, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, ta, ta, ooh, ah, ha, 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 8, 2, 3, ha, ha, ooh, ah, ha, 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 8, 2, yeah, cat. Cat, like in the silhouette, it looks super sick actually. It's very moody, very mysterious. Sick. Yeah, so let's try to put them both together. Is everything all right? Yeah, is it good? Okay. Right, so let's go slowly. So two of each. Yeah. So start. Oh, let me spotlight myself. Maybe it will help. Uh, yeah. So starting with the kick ball change on the right. Yeah. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Kick ball change. Kick. Shit. Kick ball change. Kick ball change. 8, 2, 2, ta. Like that. So one more time. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Diga, hikata, 8, 2, 2, ta. Ah, ah, ah. Kikiga, kikara, 8, 2, 2, ta. Ah, ah, ah. Together. 8, 1, 2, ta, ta. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Ah, 8, 1, 2, ta, ta. Ooh, ah, 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 ah. She finished that, and I don't really know what she does because the video cuts. But the very last one for the break, boom, boom, ba, she just go step touch down. But I don't know what comes after that. So just so we got the reference from her, so you can take the little uh, details on her movement. Let's just watch one more time from here. There you go. Yeah, I mean, so hard to get exactly it, but ah, oh man, looks like she's not like even like breaking a sweat. All right, so let's do this. Let's dance to that. I got a swing, right? Which is a song that is very riffy as well. There's a lot of little riffs, and the idea would be that we can take those riffs from Hortense to kind of like uh, follow the riffs of the song. And once you're comfortable, you can try to take two moves and try to combine on the riff to see if you can follow the song along with it. Yeah. So think on like two moves that are easy for you and put them together. But let's see if you can flow it without breaking a sweat, just like just like she does. She dances like as if nothing. It's just insane. All right, let's try. Nice. Oh, it's so great to go back to thinking on riffs a bit because I think like I've been doing like riffs for so long, and then this past like couple of months I've been no improvisation all the way in the moment, recreating yourself, and then it's so nice to kind of like sit back and just ride on the riff for a bit. It's so relaxing. Um, but yeah, I think I caught an idea from each one of you that you were playing around with. Um, so let's see, Kat, I saw you playing with this like shuffle, touch, step, half break thing, right? I mean, you repeated it quite a few times. So can you just show? I'm gonna spotlight you, and we'd see.
Okay. I went shuffle and toe, shuffle and toe, shuffle and toe, shuffle and step, half break, turn, swivel, swivel, swivel.
Yeah. All right. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. Can you do a couple of times? All right. Let's see.
I said at least that was the last version.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I saw. Yeah. Whenever you're ready. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yes. That's great. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. Let me see if I can do it on tempo. Uh, so if we go,
Sorry, I didn't realize.
no, but it was very clear. It was very clear. It was very clear. So so if we do it on tempo, so it's like toodly da, toodly da, toodly da, toodly da, pa tu da, tu tu, this 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 this, right? I think the only thing that it's a bit harder for me is the transition to the half break, right? Because we gotta like speed up a bit, right? So this, right? There's like that little rush to the half break. Yeah, five, two, boom, boom, yeah, two,
You could also do a toe touch shuffle, toe touch, the heel toe shuffle, heel toe shuffle, and then on the other side, and then you can do the break on the other side. Do you know what I mean? Because your foot is already out there.
You show it. Let me see. Let me see. Can you show?
I don't know. I don't know. So like, ha 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 ha. It's already here, but you do a half break on this side.
Oh, so you don't have to do the quick
then,
steps. Yeah. Turn, two. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Just I don't know. Just thinking.
Yeah. Let's try that one. Let's try that one. So it'll be but then so
other way, the
oh, you start with the touch.
Toe shuffle, toe shuffle, toe shuffle, toe shuffle, and then straight into from here.
I see.
You do the half break on the other side then. But I don't know if it would work. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I think so. So we changed the shuffle for the toe, right? That's the main thing. So instead of shouting shuffle and toe, it's toe shuffle and toe shuffle, toe kick step, boom, da, boom, boom, right?
Or instead of the last shuffle, just hold break.
Hold break. Yeah. Boo ba boo ba boo ba boo woo ha boo. Yeah, like I was just doing like that, the little kick as a preparation, but it's just a hold, right? So boo ba boo ba boo ba boo woo boo boo e e. That's nice. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that one more time. So I mean, it depends on where you want to start. Uh, I'm gonna start on the right. Yeah. So fa si se e a pu ki para li pu ki para li pu ki para li pu ki pu a pu ki ba tu ta ti. One more time. Ah, e pu ita pu ki para di pu ki para di pu ki pa pa pu ki ba tu pa ah 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 ah. That's really nice as well. Yay! Catherine, breathe. I just feel like doing this.
I put the AC on so cold in my room that while you were talking, I wore a robe, and now I'm like, so hot.
All right, and then Kirsten, you remember the little thing that you were doing? Because I saw something like this, right? You did like kadumpa, and then you knee slap around, and then you twist around. You know, you did something like kidumpa, kidumpa, tu ah, ah. Then you walk around a bit, and then you go like kidumpa. But I don't remember the transition back in. Do you remember?
I don't remember. That's the kadumpa kadumpa. That's like my usual go-to when I have not my kind of my fishtail go-to when I run out of things to do. So probably I honestly have no idea.
Okay. So let's do something with that. So if we go, we start with the kadumka, right? So kadumka, sa tum a tum ni kadumka, sa tum a tum a. So I think we can use the walk around that I saw you doing as the break.
Right.
Yeah. So we can do. Yes. Sorry.
I don't remember exactly, but I know I was walking this way.
Yeah.
No way. Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, because it was actually that little walk on the side that was super nice because it had a little flick on the end, right? Because you were like doing that whoop, and it had like this little nice flick. It was so nice. Yeah.
Do this?
Yeah, it was that. It was that.
I think I started with
A false log.
Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Something like
Okay,
that.
so yeah, with the walks we can repeat it.
Right. But the fall of the log, it's like a hold. I think I learned it from Frida actually. Like ha, ba-da-ba, 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 ba-da-ba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
that's a Mabel Lee step from the Rhythmania movie.
Maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's like hey tidi ta tidi oh pa oh ah hey tidi ta tidi oh ah oh.
Something like that.
Well, let's try this one. I'm trying to get the flick at the end, but I can't. I can't do the flick the same way you do. So we're gonna follow you for a bit.
Me? No.
On your own time.
Am I on time?
Yeah. So
There's only 3 people here, including myself. Well, and a few dogs, but I still feel. What are we doing?
yeah, so go. Hey, taduta.
So ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like something like knee slap.
Uh-huh.
Something like this from the
Yeah.
video, and then walk, toe,
Turn.
walk,
Step. Yes.
knee slap. I don't know. It has. I can't do it without the music. It was definitely knee slap. Then
and then the type of the cat kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, that's great. All right. I'll never imagine you to be like that, like shy in front of in front of us because you're usually like so like so like I don't know. You have such like a strong like presence and spoken, so it's very cute to see you like kind of nervous.
I hate, like, I feel like how, when you watch, I don't know if you've taken Sky's lessons before, and Sky will often forget his routine halfway through and he has no idea what he's doing. But it's not because he's not a good dancer, it's just because the spotlight's on him. He's like, oh shit, what was the routine? What was the routine? Let me check my notes.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time.
Totally.
Actually, I find really hard to improvise and then know that Felipe is going to try to say, "Is that what you did?" and like totally not remember anything that I was doing.
All right, maybe I need to find a new tactic. I need to find a new a new way
Oh,
to like.
if you're watching, you tell me what I'm doing. It's all good.
Yeah. All right. So the only thing that you're adding that cursing that we didn't have, it's the knee slaps after the fall of the log, right? So like a tidum ta tida a, because and then we will be very long on the phrase, right?
Right. So I think what I was trying to do was, that part where you were going like, it was like kick, run, this, and then
Yeah.
straight into this, but it wasn't matching. It was too fast. I was kicking on one, and that really, I know it doesn't matter. It didn't fit the music for me. Like it
It
just
does
felt
matter.
good.
It does
Yeah.
matter.
I know it doesn't matter, but if it feels right in the music, then it feels right. But it felt really wrong. Like the kick felt really wrong.
Yeah.
I did it, and then suddenly I felt like I wasn't dancing. I was just trying to do the steps, so I just changed it.
All right, so let's do this. I think yeah, fuck man. Yeah, I mean the only thing that I can find to fit is like kind of rushing a bit the way back. We go a tiri ta ta wa a ho a tiri ta something like this. You're kind of going directly to this, and then. But maybe let's do that one in the break. So we save that little run for the break, so you can keep this. And then we go here. Something like that, and then we finish. Yeah? All right. Let's try that one. 5, 6, 5, 6, 8, woo, oh, woo, two, woo, now the last one. One more time. Last time. I don't know. That's a hard one. All right. Cool. So nice to go doing riff stuff. All right, let's just do one more because she has this other riff here, if I remember. Oh man. This one that it took me forever to understand because she does such a weird tempo. Here. It's like it just feels that she's just stepping whatever beat she wants, like it has like a very hard to find a pattern there. But the very beginning it's something like this, so she goes like ti 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 ah ti ti ti, ti, ah, ah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can you highlight yourself just so that you're bigger for us?
Oh, damn it. Sorry. Let me. I have to
And I
take
don't
off.
need my eyeglasses.
All right. So she goes something like do do ti ti do do ti e do ah do da do ti e do da. But she has such a weird like a movement of her body. Ti ti do da do ah do do ah do ba do do ba do di do do ba. It's a lot of those holds there for me to make sense of it. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Nice. Cat looks really nice. Yeah, especially in the yeah. I feel that that's your type of thing, you know.
Salsa dancer.
Yeah,
I
there you
feel like
go.
a
Totally, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Sick. Yeah, I really want to try to get the second part, but it's really, really strange. So let's see if we can get this. Should go. Come on, get out. Okay. Oh yeah, there you go. Cross, step, step, cross, step, 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 step. So that one doesn't repeat. It's a whole like two eight sequence or like a phrase sequence. So it's cross, step, cross, step, all right. I think I almost got it. Almost got it. So.
Do you know what
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Do you know what I think she's doing? She's doing box step variation, the original box step.
Ah.
So if you watch her steps, she's doing the original box step is the what's it?
The kick
Left
for
foot
change.
forward.
Oh. Wait.
The original
Yeah.
cat. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let's see.
yeah.
So
Now
if
a
you
box
watch,
step is more like a diamond step, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's there's jazz box and there's box step. The box step is literally step step
Like,
forward, step to the side, step back, step to the side, step forward, step to the side. Like
let me
step
see.
touch, step touch, step touch, step touch. And then the jazz box is the crossover as well.
Yeah. Let's see.
So if you watch,
Oh. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, it's so great to see it in that light.
I was gonna say it's the only step I recognize in the whole thing. It was the box step.
Oh, I love that one. So I think I went too far back. Oh, she changed side. Damn. Okay. Oh man, this is so great. All right, let's try. Let's try to do something along those lines. Because like what I got is that she had like this sick ass twist, you know, is that she deep so far. But I got at the very beginning that she goes a bit like a mumble step. So down,
Can you
step.
unmute me?
Oh shit, sorry.
Sorry.
My bad, my bad.
So I can see you.
I just like to see her face watching.
Old people need to see bigger.
So we go like do that do that. Shit, I missed it. I missed it. I'm gonna have to watch it again. I'll play it one more time. I had it for a second, man. Let's see. There you go. Okay. Step, stop, jump, back. All right, I think I got it. So I think it's this. So step, two, two. Step, two, back. No. Step, two, back, forward, twist, back, step, step, two, back. Slowly, just so I get it. So that step, two, back, 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 forward, twist, cross. I just get that first part. 5, 6, 7, and cross, step, cross, together, back, forward, twist, step, touch. One more time. 5, 6, 7, and da, ti, boom, forward, in, twist, cross, step, touch, back. 5, 6, 7, and cross, and back, forward, twist, cross, step, touch, step, back. Oh my God, the whole sequence is. But now trying to get like all that twist, it's another level, right? 5, 6, 7, and step, back, side, forward, twist, step, This is like back, step, At the very end, it's brilliant. 5, 6, 7, and boo, boo, back, side, forward, twist, cross, step, touch, step, Last time, 5, 6, 7, and step, back, shit, forward, twist, step, touch, step, Damn. Nice. All right. So if we put the second part together, the one thing that I realized when we were doing this, do da da do da, I realized that she actually goes 1 foot and then another foot. So it's not the same one all the time. Yeah. So like she doesn't sort of like slide to get back to the left. Do da ha ooh ah, something like in those lines. Do da ha ooh ah, forward. Do da ooh forward. That like double forward. So 5, 6, 7, and forward and back, forward, and back, forward. Yeah. One more time, and then we try to merge after this. Back, forward, cross, step, cross. Yeah, let's see if we do the whole second part. Okay, 5, 6, 7, and da, and back, forward, and and back, forward, cross, step, cross, back, forward, shit, and twist, cross, step, touch, down, back. Forgot some holes somewhere. Let's do one more time. 5, 6, 7, and back, forward, and back, forward, cross, step, cross, back, forward, twist, cross, step, touch, step, Feels a bit like a line dance, no? Feels a bit like could have like some like soul music playing or something.
I just have a question. In the beginning, when you first did it, that first part where you were step, you changed your feet this time, but the first time, I think she doesn't. She does right foot forward, right foot back, right foot forward, right foot back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think like, so the first time I did it with only one foot, but when I watched it again, I saw her
You did?
changing. We can watch
Oh,
one
she
more time
changed.
just to be sure.
Okay, okay, okay. No, no. I was
Yeah,
just
I did.
questioning. I missed that.
Okay, okay, yeah, no, because she does change, I think, both, so that's why all right, let's do it with music and see how can we adapt to it. For me, the hard thing is that she just floats on top of the beat the whole time. And I guess that's going to be very hard if the beat is so strong, you know. In the last class on Sunday, I was playing a lot of Billie Holiday, and no one was able to keep the beat because Billie Holiday sings so off beat, right? She just sings so like floating and connecting the beat. And I think here we're gonna be the opposite. Like the beat's gonna be very strong, and we're gonna have to kind of find this middle beats in which she syncopate her steps. So let's see how it works. Okay, share music. Let's see uh, what Blanche Calloway has for us. This one I think is nice.
Love, oh love, oh loveless love, has set our hearts on golden gold. From milkless milk and silkless silk, we are growing used to soulless souls. Such graft in times we've never saw. That's why we have prohibition law. In everything we find a flaw. Even love, oh love, oh loveless love.
Kirsten, you did this like you were doing these turns that was so great that like you did like this. So you started this turn like I think you were like sliding back or something, and then you start turning here like boom, and you're like and then coming back with the steps. That was so great because the whole time was like really smooth, and then that like turn having those like strong steps. It looks very strong. You know, like you go like turn boom boom. It was like so beautiful, super nice. Fuck, that was great.
Thanks.
Uh, and Kat, you were in your element, right? just like floating around.
Oh, you mean being fat?
Exactly, exactly.
At the beginning, I was trying to redo the steps and I was so lost and I was looking at you and then I was like, oh yeah, when in doubt, fuck it. Then it worked.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. No, but it was really nice as well. Like the moment that like you broke away from it and you did like some like ta 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 ta, and then you did like more like um hoppy stuff, and it looked like really because like you were back on the beat. You know what I mean? So you were like floating the whole time, and then you were like rap, pa, boop, boop. I think that was like the thing that I liked on both of you is of like coming back to the beat after like floating around in like a very very solid like come back. You know, it was super nice. Super
I
nice.
felt like it was punctuation at the end of a sentence, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, doing the riffs until the breaks at the very end, right? As well. Just like jazz asking to do those stuff. You don't have to like reach so far. If you just listen, that's what comes out. Really nice. Really good job.
That's I find her music, Blanche Calloway's music, very, very, very easy to dance to. So I really
Hmm.
like it because it's very easy to follow along. But like when I practiced, I did that song that Bessie Dudley, what is it called? Bundle of Blues.
Yeah.
And even the tempo changes during the song because I was like,
Mm.
why am I not clicking with this beat? And then I actually used my BPM counter in each section, and each section is different. The BPM
Oh,
is
wow.
like it starts at like 235 and then it goes to like 250, then it goes down to 240, then it ends with 265. And I was like, no wonder I was like getting so
What the
confused.
fuck? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you listen to that exact song and you use your
I'll try.
BPM
Yeah.
count, you'll feel, or when you just dance to it, you'll feel that the tempo actually changes during the song. And then also it's not, there's no clear like riff. Like it's it just, there'll be like two things that are the same, and then it will suddenly jump to something. It reminds me of Jelly Roll Morton. Honestly, putting Blanche Calloway on after that and practicing like to these songs, I felt like I was floating on air because I couldn't understand that song.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I mean, this is something that I think it's very nice that I think we are exploring how can we like just like float around and just take ideas on the moment and stuff, because I think it's important for us to exercise that muscle, but we can always take those moments and like fall back on the structure, like follow a little bit like the riffs and stuff, because it's also part, right? So I guess the one thing that I'm missing a lot still on my dancing is this idea of, even if I'm improvising, to have a tie to the structure still. I feel that as like, I'm still like too much. We say we have this expression in Brazil is 80 or 8, you know. So I either go for like full like all improv and like connect to one thing, or I go super structure, repeating the riffs. It's so hard for me to find the middle ground. So it's very nice to try to see how to find those differences.
Yeah, funny that you say that because I felt exactly the same way watching myself. I was like, okay, like some of the videos I watched me dancing to music, when you're doing Fletcher Henderson, whatever, I watched it and I was like, I can see that I'm like kind of dancing to the music, but I'm also not following the structure. So I can
Yeah.
feel that something's like disconnected. So I actually like having the songs that you haven't really heard before or whatever, because you put in your mind, okay, like for example, when I was doing that song, the Bundle of Blues, I was like, all right, I'm going to try and make sure that I'm going to try and put a break where I feel like there's going to be a
Mm,
break. Like in my head, it was going to be like an AABA, which it wasn't. But in
mm,
my head, I was like, I'm going to end with a break. I'm going to always end with a break. So that was my goal. And if you have that tiny little goal of ending with a break, like
yeah,
it
yeah.
becomes easier to just like not think in the other parts and like, oh shit, I've got to come to my break. Whatever I'm doing, I've got to break now. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, I guess this could be maybe like the homework for this week could be us going in and out of the riffs, right? Um, like dancing around riffs and trying to be sure that in the next chorus you take like a full exploration part, maybe with a tie down to, let's say this. I think it's the break that for me is important is the break on the B section. That's the break. I think like that's the highest point of a chorus, right? Because you have just the repetition, blah blah, and then the B section take you, and then like it comes back to the beginning, and that's the main break. So maybe what we can do is that let's play like one chorus with like riffs. However, you can try to improvise riffs. If, you know, the idea of like see if you can come up with them in the moment on the first chorus, and then the second chorus open up back again. And the only rule is to do a break on the break of the B section, and then the rest is improv. And see if we're able to find this middle ground between doing only riffs and then doing all improvisation. I think it'll be a good exercise. I need that exercise for sure. So we're gonna be exchanging on that one. Yeah, I think it's a nice homework. Kat, I see you. I thought you were gonna say something because I saw you like reaching for your computer.
Well, I was more thinking about, I don't know if you remember this a few months ago, where you said, like, we always do the
I
break on
know.
the fourth eight. And then you said, but look at these videos, they're not. And now I'm doing like breaks on the first or the second. And I've really embraced that. Like, and people are like, why are you doing a break there? Well, the old timers, la, 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 la. Felipe showed us all these videos. So I've
Yeah.
really embraced that of like, yeah, screw the break on the last eight, you know? I'm gonna put them.
Exactly. Or like we
It's
watch
all your
yeah.
fault that people think I'm a weirdo.
But it's not weird though, because sometimes a break is the easiest thing to do. Like when you just feel it and there's like nothing else, you're like, shit, let me do a break now. Like,
Yeah.
no, I just sometimes it feels right.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like if we watch like the video from last week, the Symphony in Black, where the chorus line is they're just doing breaks, the whole phrase, it's all breaks, you know, and like holy fuck, you know, it's just yeah, I guess like anything that we can, you know, recognize some sort of like structure that we have in our heads about like where the break should be or how riff should last or everything, and then we if we're aware of it and then we're able to kind of explore out of it and see if that brings something new, and then we go back to whatever structure that fits best. I guess that's always the exercise to do, right? But yeah, let's see if we can go back to the break on the fourth, Cat. All right, thank you so much for making the time and talking a lot today. It was very nice to discuss the things and spend some more time talking.
We squeezed 2 hours out of you today.
That's
Yay.
I
great.
know. It's like it's getting late.
Now.
No, it was really nice. I really appreciate the talking. Like you guys shared a lot of like personal uh ideas on how you think on the dancing, how you know you go about the joy or I don't feel like dance. I think this is a very important conversation to have that I always forget, you know, as well. The idea like you don't have to be enjoying if you don't enjoy, you know, and what can you express if you didn't come from a place of suffering, you know, and how do you still relate to jazz in the same way, right? I think that that's such an interesting discussion and important discussion. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
I want to ask what happened to Stephanie's
He fell.
it fell.
He fell. Yeah, because I mean, because I did it, and I put the the screw or like the nail without the plastic thing, you know,
Oh.
and then of course it just like slipped down. So I'm gonna replace it. It was me. It was very, you know, because it's a 16 kilos frame. So we were like, you know, like in the computer working, and then this thing just fell down. It was such a scare. At least it wasn't while we were sleeping, you know. At least we were awake. But yeah, but I'll put it up again. I miss it. It's so pretty. All right. Again, thank you so much. I will. Yeah, I don't know for again for next week. I was thinking on still using the same documentary, the Plenty of Good Woman dancer. There is a dancer there is called Baby. Fuck me, I forgot the name. Baby Howard or something. And she is a boss. And there's more clips of her in the younger age. So maybe we're gonna look at her because we have some interviews and she's very adorable. And I was trying to see with Marie if she. I mean, I always say that Marie should do a class for us at some point, but I never managed to coordinate with her. But for this month, it should happen at some point, you know? Huh?
Yeah, but I say like if you do want to do it, you could do it like an additional workshop kind of thing as well. Like like if you said you wanted to take a break or something, I don't know.
That's
But
true.
anyway, you
Yeah,
could do it
yeah.
as it would be ideal this month, but it doesn't have to be, because we should be focusing on every dancer every month. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. Yeah,
Like
yeah, I agree.
you could do like a workshop featuring Marie in honor of chorus girls or something.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. Yeah. Maybe that's a good point. Like when I want to have a little break, I can maybe keep the classes going and Marie can take over for like 2 weeks or something. um,
Are you sure you won't want to be there though?
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
I'll probably be there, but at least I won't be like, having to prepare beforehand and like, be stressed on the works. Like she can do it and I just ride along with you guys. And I can be also like the other student, like talking, just like we've been talking today, sharing the experience and stuff. Let's see how she takes
You
that.
could be the naughty student in the class.
Exactly. Asking a lot of questions and like bothering the flow of the class the whole time. Uh,
It's me.
I'm guilty.
Sorry.
no, it's great. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. But I know that like it took me a while to in my teaching path to like accommodate to that type of engagement with students, because I usually had this idea of, oh, the class has to be rolling and it has to have the high energy, and then like when students start asking too many questions, I always got so worried of like, oh, now the kind of like breaking the flow. And now I don't think like that anymore. For me now is I like the participation and that everyone brings their own ideas. So,
It's also, you can feed off students as well, because
yeah,
I do that with English classes. The old method is like the grammar, translation method, where you just like teach the grammar and they do the exercises. But I don't really believe in that, because I don't think it's effective. And I
yeah,
think that you have like a basic plan for class, but I don't think every plan goes according to plan.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's true.
like, yeah,
I
I
think it
just think,
also depends on the population in the class. Like now, having fewer students,
Mm,
you can kind of see if we're willing to go that direction or not.
that's
If you have a
true.
huge class, and especially like all the workshops I happen to go to are quite international, right?
Mm.
And so half the people in the class don't speak the language. And so when a few English speakers start like a big conversation and you could see the teachers like, oh, cool, and then you look around and all the non-English speakers are like blank and like, oh my gosh, like when are we finally going to dance? Because they're visual learners, because they don't always have the language capacity.
Oh
And I feel
yeah,
like
exactly.
people that are passionate and can verbalize, then the few people in the class and the teachers kind of get all excited, and then you could read on the face of the non-English speakers like,
That's
I don't
true.
know
Yeah,
because they're not moving right now, and I don't know what the fuck's going
that's
on.
so
yeah.
true. Yeah, yeah.
So it is very true. Like a workshop is totally different. It's like totally the wrong place. When somebody says ask a question, I can just see the teachers are saying, please don't ask a question. Okay. Well,
or like that classic. Everyone has a question? No? Okay. Like doesn't even give the time for people to like say anything.
Or the passive aggressive people that ask a question that already know the answer. They just want to make sure everybody else knows the answer. You're like,
Classic, classic.
you get
Especially
those
if it's a
examples.
Lindy Hop class, Oh, do you have to pull the arm really hard? Like they just
The follower making sure the lead gets it, and then it goes woo over the lead's head.
totally, totally. Uh,
this workshop.
I know. I know.
No, but the best in Korea, I'm sure you know. I don't know if you've been to a workshop in Korea. Like I'm alright because I understand a fair amount of Korean. But the best is when there's like Japanese students or whatever other students that come, and then the like foreign teacher will do the like explain something like in so much detail, and then the translator's standing in the middle and he says like 3 words like, this is what he said.
I
Like,
know.
is that all?
I know exactly. Yeah.
Like in the movie Lost in Translation, right?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
ever seen
Totally.
that movie?
Yes.
The scene
Yeah.
where he's like shooting a commercial for whiskey or something like that, and then the Japanese director, goes on and is kind of yelling at him, and then the translator turns around. It's like, do it with more whatever. He's like, is that all I said? Yeah. After like talking for 15 minutes.
That's funny. I remember when I was teaching in Korea, and Nala was the translator. Uh, and it was like me and Alice, and we're just like, we're just like laughing our asses off the whole time. Because and then Nala will like he would actually be very that he would basically speak as we were speaking. So it was kind of like, like at the same time. And then we will laugh and he will be like, ha 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 ha. He will also like like so good. It was awesome with Nala.
I've been to a camp in Russia, oh gosh, years ago, and it was like in the advanced class, a big circle. I was the only non-Russian person in there, and then the two Russian teachers are like yelling at the people in the class, and I'm like, I don't know what the heck is happening. And then eventually he's like, ah, and then he comes towards me. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What? And he grabs my hand and he leads whatever he was teaching. And then he turns to the class again and yells at them again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. He probably doesn't know that I don't speak Russian. And he turns to me and he's like, thank you so much. I was proving to them that you could follow and you don't need to know what the lead is doing. And I was like, but it was like the whole class, the whole time he's like yelling at people and I have no idea. And when he grabbed me to go in the middle, he didn't even warn me. I was just like, oh my gosh, he probably doesn't realize that I don't speak Russian and I don't know what is happening at all. And no, that's exactly why he took
Exactly.
me.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I was traumatized.
uh, all
Anyway,
right. I'll let you all go rest because it's late there for you probably. What time is it there?
it's 8 p.m. in Thailand.
It's 10 p.m. here.
Oh, Jesus. All right. I'll let you go spend time with your doggies. And you
I'm
enjoy
gonna watch
your
the documentary now.
do it, do it, do it, do it. That one's great. And we can talk about it next time. And you can help me with the baby Edward, I think is her name, if you if you watch it. Because there's even I'm sorry, but there's even one part on the documentary that shows her dancing and she was like 70 something, like in the 80s, and she's already like an older like lady, and she had like this, and she's just exactly like she danced when she was a kid. She still had, it's incredible. And this show apparently at the end, like they say that it's like, a lot of people came into the rehearsals, they could barely walk. And then like they went to the stage and they were like flying, right? Because it just did so good for them to get back to what they always did, So it's such a um, beautiful documentary. You're gonna have a blast. It's really nice.
Sorry, one more thing before we end is just it's amazing how like all the older people sometimes they can barely walk, but you put music on and they just dance.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like crazy how it's like in their bones.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that even like, in a minor level, like when I hurt myself, like I never hurt myself too much, never. But there was this one time that I had this like pain on my calves or something. And I was walking like this, but I would dance and I would dance normally as if nothing was happening because you're using something else, It's feels that you're not using your body, somehow it's like it just works, And then you walk out the dance floor and you're like limping again. So it's super, super weird. Um,
Medicine.
yes, totally. All right. Thank you for the talk. Yeah. Thanks for the talk and see you next week. Have a good week and watch the documentary so we can talk about it next time. Okay.
I'm gonna do it
All right.
now.
All right. Bye bye.